Welcome to the ABCs of Real Estate, your semi-monthly real estate show that goes over the A to Z terms of a real estate transaction. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Courtney.
Courtney, what letter are we going over today?
Today we are going over the letter K, which stands for keys.
Okay, so the dictionary definition of key is a small piece of shaped metal with incisions cut to fit the wards of a particular lock.
Ryan, do you know what keys are made out of?
I actually don't, Courtney.
Well, the majority of keys are made out of a combination of nickel and silver, or brass.
Very interesting. Thank you for that fact.
You're welcome. We know this is by far the most exciting part of a transaction for everyone involved. Buyers are ecstatic to finally have access to the home they've been waiting for, and sellers are generally relieved to be able to move on and receive the proceeds from the sale.
But what really happens before you can receive the keys to your new home?
We'll tell you. The last 5 days of a transaction can have a lot of moving parts. There are multiple parties involved and a lot of different items that need to be done before you can officially record.
And we'll quickly go over these steps in the final days of the transaction.
If a buyer is receiving a loan, the lender, the loan officer will require that buyer to sign closing disclosures. The closing disclosures will include documents like a final estimate of the monthly mortgage payment, the APR, and a couple other items as well.
A 3-day waiting period is required after you sign these closing disclosures and before you can sign your official loan documents.
And the day you sign the closing disclosures, that will count as day 1, and it is date stamped for that day. So for example, if you sign on a Monday, the soonest you can sign those loan documents would be Thursday.
And during the waiting period, the lender will be drafting these official loan documents for the buyer to sign with the notary. We'll be honest, the loan documents can seem like an overwhelming amount of paperwork. I know from experience, but you'll get through it.
And once those loan documents are signed, the notary will deliver them to the escrow company for review. The escrow company will send them back to the lender to also review the documents to prepare to fund the loan.
And during this time, the escrow company and the lender will be balancing all the accounts with each other. So making sure all the numbers coincide with each other.
Exactly. And once the lender is satisfied with the loan documents, the lender will then fund the loan and wire the loan amount to the escrow company.
And this is when we will notify the buyers of the loan has been funded. The escrow company will also put together the final settlement statement.
This statement will inform the buyer of the exact dollar amount that is needed to close the transaction.
Yeah, and the buyer will be responsible for wiring that amount of money directly to the escrow company.
So once the escrow company receives all of the necessary funds, they will send the file to the title company. The title company will then submit the file to the county recorder's office, where it will sit in an electronic queue to officially record.
And in San Diego, since the step is electronic, the property can officially record within hours.
Once a property is recorded with the county, the confirmation will be sent to all parties in the transaction.
It'll be official. The buyer can then officially take possession of the property, and we can happily hand over those keys to celebrate.
Woo! Escrow will then wire the sale proceeds to pay off the seller's lender, the real estate brokerages involved in the transaction, and any remaining proceeds will then go to the seller.
So those are basically your last 5 days of a transaction, from no keys to keys, and it's a real roller coaster.
Back in our last video, just breathe. A lot of moving parts. We're here to guide you.
Bye, you guys.